everybody. My name is Ana. Welcome to Yoga with Ana here at the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful cold day today. And we're going to have a short practice today, probably about 30 minutes. Just a very, very gentle practice. I am under the weather, but I am here. And even if you're under the weather, I want to show you what you can do to help your body feel a little better when you're feeling just tired and not feeling that great. Maybe your head's feeling a little stuffy. So we're going to do more like back and floor stuff as opposed to standing and forward folding. So I hope you enjoy. And we're going to begin on our backs. And we're going to extend our legs and extend our arms over the head and come into a full body stretch. So from here, bring your hands to your heart. Take a moment here to ground in and set your intention as we always do. Remembering that it is intention that drives our actions, and it is these intentions we carry through our practice and take with us into our daily lives. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. Let's all take a deep breath in together and a slow exhale out, swallowing at the back of our throats. All right, let's release the hands. Bring both knees into your chest and give them a nice hug. Maybe do a little sway side to side. Then extend both legs out. Bring the arms over the head. And I know I usually talk about something at the beginning of class, but I wanted to get into the practice so you guys get a good 30 minutes. Let's bring the knees back in, give them a hug, and extend back out. Let's say this is a little relaxing, gentle yoga for the new year. Bring the knees back to the chest, give them a hug, and then gently extend back out, and arms by your side. All right, so from here, let's bring the knees up. Gently bring the hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. And we're going to let the elbows relax downward, let gravity do the work here, just pulling those elbows down. Letting the chest expand, collarbone expands as you have your elbows out. All right, feet are about hip distance apart. On the next breath in, let's bring the knees towards our chest. And exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, bring the knees to the chest. Exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, both knees to chest. And exhale, let them relax. All right, so we're going to bring the upper body into it this time. On the next breath, let's take a nice deep breath in. Lift the head up. Don't raise the shoulders all the way up. Just naturally come up, holding here for a breath, and then lowering down. Take an inhale, raise the head up, shoulders up, not off completely off the mat. And then on the exhale, lower down. Next breath, raise up. And then lower down. All right, let's release the hands. Hands come by your side. Actually bring them to a T. And let's windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Let them fall over to the right side. Take the gaze over to the left fingertips. back to center and gently windshield wiper the legs again. So every week I do write a blog, and I wrote a blog this week as well, just before the new year. Drop them over to the left side, gaze over to the right fingertips. So in this week's blog, I spoke about picking words, the power of words and what they mean to you. Let's bring the knees back to center, bring the knees back to the chest, and then from here, lower, keep the knees bent. All right, so from here, actually extend the legs, do a full body stretch here, arms over the head. And then we're going to gently bring the knees back to our chest, and we're going to rock up and down, massaging the lower back. So there's power to words and what they mean. And I did resolutions for a long time. Let's come back to seated. And from here, let's swing the legs around and come into a tabletop. So I did resolutions, I don't know, whenever I would remember to do a resolution and see what I wanted to do in my life in the next new year. Let's get into our cat-cow. But I found that resolutions kind of faded. Let's take a nice deep breath in, drop the belly, take the gaze up, and on the exhale, bring the chin to chest, tuck the tail. Inhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up. Exhale, chin moves towards the chest, tucking the tail. Continue back and forth, syncing the breath with the movement while I tell you about the power of words and why I've switched from resolutions, New Year's resolutions, to words. And last year, I picked 2 words. You can pick, 1 or 2 words, or an affirmation that resonates with you. And I found that throughout the year, I could reflect on those words because they did keep coming up. And that now, looking back, and throughout the year, I have manifested the meaning of those words into my life. So I thought that would be a nice alternative as opposed to, having a resolution and, then looking back at the resolution and disappointing yourself because, it faded away or you forgot about it or something like that. But that's what I wrote about. So if you wanted to try that, that would be something new to bring in for the new year. All right, so let's bring the hips back towards the heels, extend the arms forward, lower the head. And then let's lift ourselves up, come back to tabletop. All right, let's bring our hips into a circular motion. And those words are personal to you. You don't have to share them with anyone or, just think about how powerful one word is and what it means to you and how that word can bring change. So this is where we're just free moving our bodies. You can close your eyes. Remember to sync the breath. Shifting back and forth. As you shift forward, maybe sweeping up. Maybe gently rocking the hips towards the mat and then bringing the hips back. And then let's come back to tabletop. Let's thread the needle here. Take an inhale and bring that right arm up. And then we're going to weave it underneath the left arm. Extend that left arm. Bring the right shoulder down, right temple down. And take a few deep breaths here in the back of the rib cage. Feel the breath. Expand the back of the rib cage. And exhale it out. Gently walk that left hand back towards you to lift yourself up. Sweep that right arm up on the inhale and exhale it back down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left arm rises, and exhale. Bring it underneath that right arm. Right shoulder comes down, right temple comes down. Extend that right arm forward. Breathe into the back of the rib cage. Feel it expand. Last breath here, and then let's walk this right hand back towards us. Gently lift ourselves up and bring that left arm up and sweep it back down. All right. From here, gently bring those hips back. Bring the hips back to table, and then gently bring them back. And then let's come back to tabletop. Let's extend that right leg out laterally. Place that foot nice and flat. From here, we're going to lower down. So you can, I don't have my blocks here today, but you can use blocks to raise the floor. You can come down on your forearms to gently get into that inside of the thigh, the groin area. And just breathe here through the tension that you may feel in the inner groin. Pull the navel in. Just taking a few breaths. If it feels good to come all the way down, you can. Just dropping the chest towards the mat or just resting on the forearms. Gently lift yourself back up, walking your hands back. Bring that leg back to table, neutral, and then extend that left leg out laterally. Foot is flat, and then gently begin to drop down to get into that groin area, the inside of the leg. Again, option to drop all the way down. And then walk your hands back towards you. Bring that leg back in. All right, back to tabletop we go. Shift the hips back. Shift the hips forward. Take a wide-legged child's pose. Knees come to the width of the mat. Let your toes touch. Let the hips come back towards the heels and extend your arms out and gently place your third eye on the mat. Give it a little massage if that feels good. See if you can reach those hips towards the heels, nestle them in. Couple more rounds of breath here. And then gently lift yourself, walk your hands back towards you. Knees come back hip distance apart. All right. From here, let's gently lift that right leg up, bend the knee, and gently open up to the right side, stacking that right hip over the left, maybe taking a peek towards that side, towards the right side, over the shoulder, over the right shoulder, and then gently extend that leg back to center and bring it down. Let's extend back out and bring it back. Inhale, left leg rises, bend the knee, stack that left hip over the right, take a peek over that left shoulder. Come back to center, extend that leg out, bring the knee in, extend back out, and come back to table. Bring the hips back, extend the arms forward. All right, so from here, let's lower down to our tummies and get into a little cobra pose. So arms underneath the shoulders, Let your fingertips peak just above the shoulders. Tuck the elbows close to the body. We're going to press all 10 toes into the mat, and we're going to press the hips into the mat on the in-breath, and we're going to lift the chest up. So take a nice deep breath, press all 10 toes in, press the hips into the mat, lift the chest. Tuck the elbows close to the body, and on the exhale, come back down. Rest on the right cheek, facing the right side. Take a nice deep breath in and out, and then come back to center. Next breath in, press all 10 toes, hips, lift the chest, pressing all 10 toes and the hips into the mat, and then lower down. Right cheek comes to the mat. And then let's bring the chin back to center. Extend the arms to a T, tent the fingers. Next breath in, lift the chest. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower down. Press all 10 toes in. Inhale, lift the chest. Last one here, and lower down. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in, gently press yourself back up, and bring the hips back. All right, let's come back to tabletop. And we're going to shift the hips to the left side. I'm going to swing my legs around. And I'm going to extend my legs, go into a Dandasana or staff pose. So arms by your side, palms are flat, staying nice and lifted through the crown. We're going to do a forward fold. Inhale, arms come up. Reach up and lengthen, and on the exhale, we're going to reach for the outsides of our feet, or we can peace finger our toes, or place the hands on the shins, whichever's comfortable for you. Now, I do want to tell you that if you can't touch your toes, you can reach the outsides of your feet, just like this. And with consistent practice, as you do these forward folds while seated, you're pressing outward. Eventually, your knees will extend. That's how it happened for me. So I know it can happen for you. And I love to peace finger my toes, so I'm going to inhale, lengthen through the crown here, flex the feet, and on the exhale, I'm going to bend the elbows and come down towards my thighs. Crown reaches towards my toes. Take another deep breath in. Don't hold your breath. And on the exhale, let's release. Bring both hands up. And let's float them down. Bring that right foot into the left inner thigh. Take a nice deep breath in and lift the arms up parallel to the ears. Lengthen. And on the exhale, reach for that left foot. Take it all the way down, hinging at the hips on the exhale. Take that right shoulder down. Let your forehead work towards the knee. And release. Come all the way back up. Switch sides. Guide that left sole to the inner right thigh. Take a nice deep breath. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, reaching for that right foot. Take another deep breath and lengthen through the crown. Bend the elbows. Bring the forehead towards the knee. Drop that left shoulder. And release. Come all the way back up. Extend both legs and gently lower the arms. All right. So from here, let's do a little seated windshield wiper. Just to kind of loosen the hips here. Keep the knees bent. Come back to center. Reach forward. Lean back. And then we're going to land on our backs slowly and mindfully come all the way down. Bring the knees to chest. And lower all the way down. Bring the arms over the head for a full body stretch. And then exhale. Bring the arms by your side. Bend the knees. We're going to go into a bridge pose. And we're going to bring the arm movements into it as well. So we'll start with a bridge. Let your fingers graze your heels. Just as close as you can bring your heels towards your butt. And we're going to take a nice deep breath, slightly tuck the chin. Inhale, lift the hips up. Pull the navel in. That chest reaches towards the chin. Take some nice deep breaths. You can take a bind underneath your back if that feels good and tuck the shoulders in. Breathing. And release the bind, release the hips all the way down. And we take a deep breath in and let it go. Second set. Inhale, lift the hips up. Press those palms into the mat. Let the chest reach towards the chin. Take that bind if that's available for you underneath the back. And lower down. Release the bind if you bound your hands there. Lower the hips. All right. So now we're going to simultaneously do bridge pose with the movement of the arms. So on the next breath, we're going to raise the hips up and raise the arms up. Inhale, lift the hips, raise the arms over your head, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, we'll do 5 of these. Exhale, lower the arms down, hips come down. 3 more. Inhale, reach up with the hips, arms over the head, and exhale, lower down. So same thing, chest move towards the chin as you lift the hips and reach the arms over your head. And we have one last one to go. Inhale, reach up, lift the hips high, and lift on the exhale. Beautiful. Let's bring the knees towards the chest. Give a nice squeeze. And then from here, lower the knees. Bring the arms into a T. And then gently begin to windshield wiper the knees back and forth. And then let them drop over to the right side. Bring that right leg, that right ankle to the left thigh, and then take the gaze over to the left fingertips. Come back to center, release the legs, and then windshield wiper again, back and forth. Let them drop over to the left side. Take that left ankle to the right thigh, and then gently take the gaze over to the right fingertips. Breathing normally. And then gently coming back to center, releasing the legs, and taking a little sway back and forth with the knees again. All right, arms by your side. We're going to do a supine pigeon pose, or pigeon pose on our backs. Let's take that right ankle to the left thigh. Bring the hands underneath the left thigh. Flex both feet. Interlace the fingers underneath the left thigh, and then gently begin to pull towards you. You can bring in a little resistance with the elbow against that right thigh, the inner thigh, and be gentle and kind and compassionate. You'll definitely feel this on the outer glute, outer thigh. Breathing into those tight places. Tuck the chin. Last round of breath. And release. Bring both feet back to the mat. Knees are still bent. Take that left ankle to the right thigh. Bring the hands underneath that right thigh. Interlace the fingers. Flex both feet. And then gently bring that right thigh towards you. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Sometimes feeling tension in the body makes us hold our breath, but we want to do the opposite because holding our breath sometimes increases the tension. Tuck your chin. Take another deep breath. See if you can bring that leg a little bit closer to you. Last round of breath. And release. Full body stretch. Extend the legs. Extend the arms. Bring the knees back to your chest. Give a nice squeeze. Wrap your arms around the knees. And getting into a little wind removing pose. Extend that left leg out. Flex both feet. Bring that right knee to your chest. And then guide it over to the right shoulder. Release. Bring the left knee towards your chest. Flex the feet. Guide it to the left shoulder. And release. Alright, everybody, it is time for Shavasana. Arms by your side. Let your toes fall open. And settle into your breath. Tuck the shoulders underneath the body to just widen the collarbone, creating more space in the chest. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Palms face up. And let yourself begin to feel heavy. Feeling supported by the earth. Noticing if you're holding on to any tension and breathing into those spaces. So just letting your body go into a full body relaxation. And this is where the healing begins, in this most relaxed state. Alright, so I'm going to begin to wiggle around and bring the awareness back into my body. You guys can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Go over to your right side and gently pressing yourself back up. Come into seated. I want to thank you all for joining me today for this short 30-minute. Hopefully you found it very relaxing just like I did. I will see you next week. Happy New Year, everybody. And thank you for joining me today. Namaste.